Thank you all esteemed dignitaries for gracing the stage. We now have a keynote address with presentation and the screen will be active on the stage for the same. May I now request our honored guests to please step off the stage and take your seats in the front row so you can comfortably enjoy the upcoming session. So kindly please grace me.
चले थे वहाँ से 3 बजे 5 बजे शाम 4:30 5 कल से सुबह आने लगा 12 बजे आएगा 11:30 हाँ कल आ गई वो इन्वर्टर स्विच किया ना.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the keynote address, a much anticipated highlight of today's event. Before I invite the keynote speaker, I would like to read out some of his great achievements. Even though he preferred to step in quietly, but I feel we acknowledge the brilliance he brings to this space. I am delighted to welcome our speaker, Dr. Rebbe Singh, a leading innovative coach and digital transformation strategist, formerly a professor in aerospace engineering at ISC Bangalore and a former technological executive in most of the Fortune 500 companies. He serves as a US delegate on ISO Innovative Standards, a prolific author, award-winning researcher. Dr. Singh has influenced global thought with over 150 publications, 25 books, and more than 50 keynote presentations internationally. We are honored to have him here at ICMS to share his vision for safety advancements. Sir, thank you so much for being here as our keynote address speaker for the day, sir. Please kindly address me.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, we're going to get some energy in the room here. The conference has just started. Okay, I'm going to start with throwing up a couple of toys here to you, and then I'm going to get into a story. Did we lose Dr. Murthy? It's just a sponge ball, not too heavy. Catch it. It's gone pretty far. I can't throw that high, sorry. I think I'm going to keep one with me. Maybe I'll give one here. Thank you. One more. Who wants it? I have one which I want to keep it for me because I'm going to use it. I left Pratt & Whitney jet engines in 2012. My son finished his mechanical engineering in 2014 and joined Pratt because he liked all the stories I was telling him on the dining table, trying to design jet engines. And another 3 years after he had joined, that is 2017, one day he comes home and he pulls up his cell phone and he says, "Dad, I need your help." "Son, that time is gone. I don't help you anymore." "No, Dad, you need to see this email." "Okay." So I see the email. "All right, what?" "Dad, you need to scroll down." So I scroll. I'm scrolling. I'm getting tired. I said, "Son, I'm getting tired. How far do I have to scroll?" "Dad, you have to scroll all the way to the end." I said, "Fine." So I quickly go all the way to the end. And I reached an email that I had started at Pratt in 2011. I projected something to Pratt that they need to invest in a particular technology in 2011. And finally, in 2017, they decided it is time to do something about it. And they couldn't figure out how to do it. And somebody said, Rippy, who started this, his son works for Pratt, give it to him, let him go talk to his father over dinner, and let's figure out how do we take it. That's the story of my life. I worked through several organizations, and every time I get into these situations where I envision something and it's discarded and dismissed, saying, "Oh, this will never happen, we can never do it, it will never be the case," and 5-6 years later, it comes around to say, "Yes, it's time to do that." Today's lecture is in the same spirit. I'm going to take you to 2030, maybe 2035, where the confluence of structures, materials processing, and AI assures the level of safety of an asset to a point which up until now was not possible. So let's get into that thing. The talk will have, it's vibrating. I've got 4 little segments that I'll cover. My strict desire is to do it in 40 minutes. I'm going to talk about envisioning the safety part, then I'll tell you where does the intelligence come in to assuring that safety. Then I want to talk about what is the foundation to make that happen. And then I'll bring in the responsibility piece of it. And I will weave several stories, personal stories of various activities to back this thing up. Okay? So let's start with envisioning. We did an exercise. We did an exercise with Siemens Corporate R&D about 3 years ago, where Siemens said, "We know what is smart manufacturing, that's under control. We know 2035, we got our sensors and stuff. We're in the market. Tell us what is beyond 2035, what is beyond smart manufacturing." And after 3 days of workshop with some of their top scientists, AI became a big piece, but not just one single element of AI. It was, well, you have to have Is the battery down? I'm sorry. Okay, at least one piece has come. Is it a battery problem? No. Lose connection? Okay. So, the 2 elements that we are very well familiar with. Okay. So the 2 elements we are very familiar with, analytical, predictive kind of AI that we've been doing for 25-30 years. When I was doing my PhD, we had friends who were doing that aspect. And then generative AI, which is pretty new. And in the next 5 years, we're going to see a significant amount of what we call as a physical AI. NVIDIA is pushing a lot in that direction, which means your robots now have intelligence. So you have autonomous systems. In some sense, self-driving car is a physical AI. But then there's a 4th piece which is yet to emerge, and that's actually regulatory AI. Okay? Eventually the ecosystem will transform when regulations are also becoming a part of an automated system. And all of this must be within the space of ethical, explainable, ethical, explainable, responsible AI part, and AI agents and super agents and agents of agents, and we'll probably come up with several new terms in this space as we go along. But the whole idea is, it's like the ultimate intellectual piece of human is being outsourced into a machine to do that. And this led to what was considered as conscious manufacturing, as the next step beyond smart manufacturing. Now, we all know this 4 industrial revolutions, right? We've all heard it, we've talked about it so many times. The first one is the steam, second one electricity, third one computers, fourth one is what is going through now with connectivity. What does it mean to the topic of structural safety, structural integrity? What it means is that we have actually gone through, from ages, the safety assurance has moved from being intuitive, live and learn, to factor of safety type, we touched upon that term before, to becoming preventive, safe life and fail safe. And then we say we have enough computational tools to predict, so we want to predictive and damage tolerance philosophy of safety. But with AI, where we can go is, we call it, this is not working, my friend, prescriptive handling and treatment, which means just like a doctor individually prescribes to you what to do, you actually prescribe some actions, some limitations, some directions to whether it's inspection, repair, maintenance, whatever, so that you go from predictive to prescriptive. And over here, I'm not talking maintenance, I'm actually talking handling, predictive, prescriptive handling. But the revolutions in the inspection space, a lot of times we tend to miss out and combine it with the revolutions in the industry. That's not true. How many of you in here are from the NDT space? Inspection, or you understand it? Okay, so I'll be quick on this particular chart. The inspection side comes in, traditionally in the past, we have been working with 5 senses. That's how we heard things are about to fail, or I can see it failing, I do that. Then we came up with these dye penetrant and mag particle type of things where we can highlight defects on the surface. That was a revolution. Now you can magnify things which were otherwise not visible to naked eye. Then we came up with things that we can see through the. Do we have a better clicker? Or this is it? This is it. Okay. Sorry, unfortunately, I don't have mine either. All right. So the 3 is, the 2 is we are able to go deeper. Okay, you do an X-ray, you do ultrasonic, you do medical, you can now see through the space. The third revolution is when the computers helped us digitize, share data, etc. And the fourth one that we are talking now is with AI is like intelligent foresight. Can I see it in time, not just in space? You see, the revolutions have been, I can see what went wrong on the surface, I can see what went wrong inside the material. Now can I see what will go wrong inside the material, which means can I detect things in time dimension? That's what I call as extrasensory perception. You will tell me, is that possible or not? Let me explain you why I believe it's possible. I want you to imagine so you are clicking over there, is that what you're doing? I'm sorry, this is very disruptive to me because my messaging is completely messed up. Okay, let's try this. All right, so I want you to think. Okay, imagine you have an asset and you have its digital twin and you have a 5G, 6G connectivity, and that connectivity is bringing in inspection data in real time. And I'm talking about relevant data, not big data. You also have the entire service history. How was it made? How has it lived up until now? So everything about it is somehow known and captured in this digital twin. Then at some point, either triggered by an event or as planned, you make predictions about damage progression. You deploy artificial intelligence, you play with what-if scenarios, and you visualize it through digital means like augmented reality. And all that helps you prescribe now the receiver is over there. Receiver is over there. The receiver for this is over there. It vibrates in my hand, which means something is happening. It's telling me. Okay, so we come up with prescriptions, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what you should maintain, you need spares in advance. You close the loop. The fundamental thing about digital twin is closing the loop between what digital is telling you and what physical actions you have to take. Another one? All right, let's try this. Okay. So the whole intent is that in the digital space, I want to be able to see the future. Whether I'm running simulations which are physics-based, or I'm using data extrapolation using artificial neural networks, or some combination of the two, I want to be able to see what will happen. And if I know the entire history, I should be able to quickly see, just like when you look at Weather Channel, you have your hourly forecast. You get the cloud map and you just say the time scale and it tells you where the clouds would be. Where is that coming from? It's coming from data. It's coming from modeling that is based on data. And we can be there because we know enough about damage progression. And we can visualize that. So we can actually anticipate what can happen. Okay, so the whole idea is we give machine this perception, where a machine is ability to envision the future on a digital twin before it unfolds. Is it possible? Let me tell you this. You know how we as parents sometimes are with the kids and kids are playing in the playground and one mother says, Bittu will fall. I'm telling you, Bittu is going to fall. And what happens half an hour later, Bittu falls. How did the mom know? How did the mom know? Because mom has seen enough kids when they play a certain way and they do certain things which are risky, things will happen. Right? So the same concept we can actually bring in over here. The first time when I presented this about 4 years ago, it was dismissed as not possible, but Ika Virkunen actually has produced data on a small scale where he has demonstrated that you can actually see the defect on a digital twin before you can see it on an entity equipment. So you can visualize damage in time dimension, and that's a revolution. That can change how we view safety. It's about perception. Next. So the whole intent is, next, perceive it before it happens. I do not want this situation to happen in reality. I want to see that in digital space before it happens. So the first takeaway that I have, and I'll tell you why I call it safety 5.0. There's a reason why I put that number, safety 5.0. You see, the industry revolutions happened. There was a muscle power, then industry 1 was steam, 2 electricity, 3 computers, 4 IoT. Japanese did not like that. Japanese said it's not about technology, it's about impact. And I think IIT Kanpur is close to Japan, so we understand what it is. And that took us to, they defined different revolutions from society perspective. Society 1 was hunting gathering, society 2 was agriculture. Society 3 is industrial for Japanese system. And society 4 is about information. And the 5 is about smart society, right? And the society 5 aligns with industry 4. Okay? Two different models given by two different countries. One is actually about technology, the other is about its impact on humans. So one's action, one's result. When that happened, people started talking about Industry 5.0 because they didn't want to be left behind, the Japanese talking about Society 5.0, which in my opinion is not a thing yet because we don't know what the next industrial revolution will be. It will most likely be a confluence of digital, physical, biological, but we are not sure yet. So let's leave that aside. But effectively, what Society 5.0 talked about is bringing physical, digital technologies for two purposes. One, yes, you want to do economic development. Companies want to make money, we want to create systems, but you also must create social value. And that's why the model was around society 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not around industry. Okay, whatever you do as engineers, create a social value. And one of the other things in social value these days we talk about is sustainability. And if you take the same concept and map it to what we are doing in structures and materials, right? Put materials, processes, and put digital technologies. Again, for a dual purpose. One, economic performance. Yes, I want to have lower life cycle cost for a long time. But then I also want to guarantee asset safety because that is what is a social impact. So the whole message over here really is, if I combine that material, process, and artificial intelligence into it, I'm calling it machine perception. And I want to take that to defining it as a safety 5.0. Because I'm lining it up with society 5.0. I'm talking about the impact that we can bring by understanding materials, processes, the damage progression, and how AI can help me control that damage progression or predict it and handle it in a manner that I can guarantee safety. So the first takeaway here is machine perception about materials, processes, AI on some digital environment will actually shift the safety paradigm to what I call as a safety 5.0. And the reason I gave 5.0 name is because it's aligned with society 5.0. I have not taken time to define safety 1, 2, 3, 4, just to say that we are lined up with how the revolution is happening. So that's my first takeaway to you. Start thinking about applied AI in a manner that helps you envision the future on a digital twin. All right, let's go next. Now I want to talk about the intelligence. Okay, just a brief about AI. How this will happen is, you build a machine perception model, and I want you to think of it like large material model. It's not large language model, it's a large material model that has got data models and physics-based models, and it can iterate between that. The term that I recently learned about is domain-specific foundational models. What ChatGPT has done with large language models is around the language piece, but the similar style can be taken to various domains. When bio guys are talking about discovering the next drug, it's a domain-specific foundational model. We would need domain-specific foundational model for the materials and processes to make this thing a reality, so that we can actually have a large material model. And the purpose is, if we can get to, if there's an asset owner, operator, and there is this large material model available, then we make a query with some history, feed it to the model, and make a query, how safe is it? When do I need to maintain this one next? Just like a prompt, just like we're doing with ChatGPT. And out comes the response, which is in terms of what actions you should take. So it's a maintenance, repair, overhaul, operations kind of a handling thing. So just imagine a ChatGPT type of a system, which is not about large language model, but a large material model that allows you to take decisions, that assists you in making decisions to assure safety of an asset. And the asset could be an airplane, the asset could be a naval ship, the asset could be an oil and gas plant, whatever. But that's the vision, that's where one can think of how do we bring Gen AI for samples and materials and process engineering. And that's the philosophy behind Safety 5.0. And what is happening over here is we tend to think that AI is a tool. And I want to tell you, AI is more than a tool. If you take it, if you truly want to ensure safety, you must begin with a digital model all the way from the design part, track the data like a digital thread through the manufacturing, through the maintenance, and all the way up to if you have to recycle, repurpose, reuse, whatever else you want to do. And if you're going to use AI on that one, I want you to view AI as a partner. It's not a tool. It can be your assistant. It can also be your advisor over a period of time. Okay? But you need to use it along the entire materials value stream. If you have some missing pieces in between, you will have equivalent errors coming in. So you must view AI as a partner, not as a tool. Now, when this AI thing came about first, I started working with OpenAI on GPT about 4 years ago, a year and a half before ChatGPT. In fact, I even have a paper published with AI as a co-author before journals realized that they don't want to have AI as an author. It was 4 years ago. But then, in my practice, which is management coaching, strategy building, one of the things was, oh shit, is this going to replace me? And now do I need to worry about my job as well? I mean, can AI help you with building even the strategy, not just with manufacturing, inspection, and maintenance? So we actually ran some tests. So real life tests on real customers, the challenge was back-to-back comparison. We could do that. But we discovered that when it comes to truly creative thinking, like strategic planning, AI is pretty good in helping amateurs. Okay? So when we had this one, amateur manager, and a leadership expert who knows how to do this thing, and then you're doing it as a team, is the next bubble. The amateur manager benefited significantly from using AI. Very fast, very quickly, pretty good, and got as close as we can perceive within our observation sample size being small to a strategic leadership expert. The leadership expert got a little bit of a quality benefit and a lot of time savings in using the large language model to build the strategy. I think the benefits mainly came because an expert can only know one or two domains, and this thing has looked at several domains. So there were certain areas which were new to them. But then when normally we do work with teams, and when you work with teams, the AI was not able to give us any significant advantage. I want you to consider this seriously. Okay? Over-dependence on AI can be dangerous. Anything creative, and this is one example of a domain where I apply my creativity now in strategic planning. If you get 8 or 10 people in a room, you can collectively outperform an AI system. It may take you 2 days to arrive to a solution. This thing instantly will give you something, but that what it gives you is not necessarily better than what 8 or 10 of you can do together. And then we also had another experiment, which actually gave us some benefit, where we had each individual use AI as their assistant in the team setting. Okay, that gave us significant amount of speed up, and some amount of quality benefit. The point over here is, now it's moving on its own. Okay, the point over here is that AI is not a tool, is a partner. But then that partner can be your assistant or it can be your advisor. It depends on how you choose to frame the problem and how you choose to leverage it. Okay, we did a workshop with RIT. They want to set up an AI envisioning. We did an envisioning exercise. They want to set up an AI consortium with 30-40 industries together to see where to take the research of AI. And interestingly, the most important conclusion was that not focus on speed, but focus on can we create opportunities that were earlier not possible, which was a very interesting message that all the participants took away, that AI can actually open doors, being able to do things that were not possible earlier. The reason I'm saying is because I just presented you the vision of safety 5.0 based on AI, and that fits this philosophy that came out during that workshop, that we should not just think of AI as something that gets me things faster, higher productivity, cost efficiency. No, it can actually open up opportunity that were not possible before. So the second takeaway, it's not a tool, it's a long-term partner that enables you to do what you could not do earlier. So please conceive new things. And it doesn't mean that humans were doing it. It's like even we may not have ever thought of doing it. Let's go to what is the foundation that you must lay now, start working on it now, to be able to get there in 4 to 5 years. Okay? The foundation of the whole thing is actually a digital twin. And it's one of the very misunderstood terms. It's being loosely used. Suddenly everybody is working on digital twin, everybody has a digital twin. Let me tell you, that's not true. It's just a branding thing. Okay? We had a workshop that was done for Department of Energy. The reason I'm giving you these stories is because I want you to believe in what I'm telling you here, that there is some activity that has gone behind all this messaging that I give. Okay? This is a Department of Energy workshop, full 2 days on digital twins, trying to define how digital twins will be used for advanced manufacturing, particularly for batteries. And in this particular panel, I facilitated full 2 days. In this particular panel, the guy over here, the second on the left, one in the triangle, his name is John Vickers. He's from NASA Langley. He's the founder of digital twins. He actually came up with the whole definition and whole concept in 2002. And he very, very clearly defined that unless until you have a strong foundation of digital twins, your AI, ML, model-based anything, intelligent automation, anything above that will be weak. Okay? These 6 technologies are core technologies for NASA. This is where we're going to do an ideation on Mars mission based on this one. But digital twin is a foundation before you start thinking of model-based engineering, start applying AI, ML really to see the future, to conceive things that were not possible up until then. Okay? Now, what is digital twin and what it is not? Let me share that with you. 30 years ago, 35 years ago, we started building finite element models, CAD models, what we call as Industry 3.0. That is, we were going from physical reality to a digital reality. That was Industry 3.0. Those things are called digital model. Okay? And we've been doing it for 40 years. The true digital twin is where you have a two-way linkage between the digital model and the physical reality in real time. You should be able to go from physics to the computer and back from computer to physics in real time. I'll also put a caveat on real time. The real time for a driverless car can be a fraction of a second. A real time for maintenance of a windmill, control tower, just a tower that's standing, could be once a week, right? So the real time definition is purpose driven. Where we get confused so many times is when we have a digital to physical connection, but physical to digital is not really real time, which is truly a digital control. It does not make it a digital twin. Or when you have a physical to digital connection very strong, you know exactly, you can see it on the computer what is happening, but you are not controlling the reality back. Okay? Then it's a digital shadow. It's still not a twin. How many of you actually have seen or worked on a digital twin? Once I tell you, you will find that you have all worked on digital twin. You know what is Facebook? That's your digital twin that you created. And you are maintaining it in real time. You upload things every day, every week. You are telling it what it is. And how is it connecting it back to your physical reality? You are seeing what your friends are doing. He's gone to that restaurant, I want to go to that restaurant. They went to vacation over there, I want to go to that vacation. It is now controlling your life. Do you realize how many digital twins of you exist today? Amazon has your shopping digital twin. They're actually predicting what you will buy and they're bringing that product to the closest distribution center and they're advertising you, influencing your behavior and decision to buy, and you end up buying something. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so again, the real-time definition is different. My LinkedIn digital twin has a frequency of 24 hours or so. Some people have one once a week. But that's the concept of digital twin. You have to close the loop. The best example of digital twin is a driverless car. At any given point, there are all these cameras and sensors that are picking up what's going on around you, simulating it, simulating the behavior of the other car on the road, the truck, the traffic signal, and making a decision in milliseconds and taking an action to drive the car to where it should be going, right? All of our autonomous systems, in some sense, they have a digital twin. They are very narrow. In fact, our autonomous weapon systems also, in some sense, do have a crude level of digital twin because it has a digital control and it is taking decisions in real time. Okay. Now, Those of you who are working on digital twin, great, this is a good reference. Those of you who are not working on digital twin, you better start working on that now. And this report is a fantastic starting report. It came from National Academy of Science, Engineering and Math, and they gave this very comprehensive definition. I hate reading charts, but when it comes to definition, I like to emphasize word by word because I don't want to distort a kind of a definition accepted by a large number of experts. It's a set of virtual information constructs that mimics the structure, context, behavior of natural, engineered, or even a social system like shopping. Dynamically updated with data from its physical twin, has a predictive capability and informs decisions that realize value. So back to physical action. Note, it's a very special note over here, the bidirectional interaction between virtual and the physical is central to digital twin. Until you make that, don't call it a digital twin. You are progressing, you're building a digital twin. If you don't have full connection, don't do it. And in this bidirectional interaction, the Digital Twin Consortium, another body which has been doing it, they particularly emphasize that it should be done at a predetermined frequency and a predetermined fidelity. And both are important. Just like the frequency, because I said in real time you have to update the physics to digital and digital to physical part. And fidelity, all of us in structures know, high fidelity models, we used to do finite element stuff for the years, so fidelity is important. And we did okay, I'll come to that example next. Now there are several types of digital twins. You can have a digital twin for the product. That's the easiest one. Right? We know we have CAD models, but that's just a CAD model. But if you get to a point where there are sensors and there is some way to figure out what's happening in real life and that's coming into the CAD model, you can make that. You can have a digital twin of the process. That's very important to control the parameters of the structural component that you are building. Okay, all the closed loop process control thing are actually, in a sense, some early stages of digital twin for the process. You can have a digital twin of a full asset. Now that's an assembly of the whole thing, not just one product. I can have it for the entire plant. Singapore has built a digital twin of the entire country. They put 500 drones, they spent a month, they scanned the whole damn country and they made a digital twin. Now, if somebody wants to put a 40-story skyscraper, they use that digital twin to see what would be the wind pattern, what would be the impact on how many people are going to live, so what's the impact on traffic, what's the impact on other factors before they say, I will allow you to build another skyscraper. So those are the applications that you can have at a full system level. And then there are human twins. You can actually even build a digital twin of a human and put him into the system and mimic that and see where that goes. So you can have twins across the board. But I think structures and materials people should start with the product and the process twin as more important one. And then slowly build up towards the asset, and then maybe at some point we'll get to the human side. But product and process digital twin will be very important to assure the quality performance of a product, and of course when it becomes a part of the system. So this is another exercise we did with Germany. We did a workshop on planning how are they going to maintain 30,000 wind turbines. And what would be the digital twin strategy to make that happen. And right now they have 30,000, they're putting another 30,000. They want 80% renewable energy, 50% from wind, and wind is big for them. So we came up with a strategy. We said you should have a low fidelity, low frequency digital twin of the entire farm, all 30,000 of them, so that you can study patterns at the national grid level. But then you have low fidelity, high frequency models of turbine number such and such, which is located in this town, this one located in this town, this one located in this farm. And then you can go down to high fidelity, high frequency models of three primary components: the turbine blade, the gearbox, and the turbine. Because those are the things that need high fidelity things. So that's a strategy we built for them. Again, similar to what we used to do 40 years ago as global, local, finite element analysis. Remember that time? So good job, IIT Hyderabad. I found on the website that you have a Center for Geospatial AI and Digital Twins. Is there anybody here from that center? No? Nobody? Okay, sorry. I actually tried to search for if I can meet someone. I haven't met enough, so it is virtual. It's probably small, it's starting. But that's a good thing. I'm glad it is happening. I'm glad Dr. Murthy is taking initiative. Now I'll say, why not extend it to include materials, processes, structures, and even recycling and repurpose as a part of that center? Dr. Murthy, I want you to listen to this. He's not here. We heard some very nice, inspiring opening lectures by esteemed guests here. And I think all this vision that I'm talking about, digital twins as infrastructure, leading to applied AI, leading to a point where we can use it for various things, not just necessarily safety. Safety is one topic, but you can take it all across. I think India is ready to pursue this vision. And I'll tell you why. Because we have a large number of institutes where we are training people. We are positioned for the fourth revolution. We have significant talent. We have a lot more software skills than anything else. We have all the math skills over here. I travel around the world, but we can't find the kind of skills in quantity. Quality-wise, we're still catching up, but quantity, we can't find that anywhere in the world. But more important thing is we have the right mindset. Because all these things, they feed on data. And countries in the West, they want to hold the data as if it's a high value. I don't want to share. And they slap things like privacy protection, intellectual protection, and blah, blah, blah. And that actually retards progress when it comes to applying this kind of an AI that I'm talking about to have a large scale system where, just like the strategy we did for Germany. So in India, we have a society which is very connected. And that can be a significant advantage when it comes to pushing AI, which will leverage all the data around it. And then we have a much younger population. They are open to change. I'll tell you, for all my clients in India, things move much faster than my clients in US and Germany. So third key takeaway for you today is that digital twin is infrastructure and it's key to machine perception. And over here I'm talking about safety, but it can also be taken in broader context for other things, product performance in general, which can create a new paradigm. So those are the three key messages. Now I want to take you to the fourth one. The fourth message is around responsible, and I might deviate a little bit from the technology piece. Okay? And here I want to share with you is, at this particular conference, I looked at all the topics being discussed in the conference. And here is a list, sort of something. And I like it that we do talk about recycling and circular economy, and I'm particularly interested in seeing how many papers are presented on that particular. This is a fantastic list of what and how. Where is the why? Where is the why in the whole thing? Are we doing it because we are doing it? I don't know why we are doing it. I think I want to urge every presenter, when you present your paper, ask yourself a question: why did you solve that problem? What was behind it? Why is important? Or are we doing it for money? And the money could be my personal income, my personal profit for my business, or it could be life cycle cost benefits, or whatever you want to call it. Why are we doing it? But then sometimes you're just doing it for the sake of technology. It's a part of the fourth revolution. I need to take AI, everybody's doing it, I should also do it. I want to just push technology. I want to develop technology. I don't know where it will be used tomorrow. It will be used somewhere. And it's okay, as long as you have the clarity that I'm doing technology just for the sake of technology. There's a massive opportunity to do that, to improve design, to create new digital disciplines, and all that. That's not enough, right? And there are all these digital technologies you can bring in and push. But those technologies must serve society at some point. Remember I mentioned earlier why Japanese came with a society 5.0 model as against the industry 4.0. So all these things have to take you towards doing something like the smart home, the smart city, smart factory, smart healthcare, whatever. It's got to take you towards doing something which is socially good, and that's where we talk about society, and you talk about 5.0 side level of it. You should make serious effort to see how the technical work that you're doing connects to the social impact somewhere. Ask that question. Sometimes you'll get an answer today, sometimes you may have to work a little bit to find an answer. And if you cannot find an answer, then make adjustments to your technology problem so that you can find a connection with the social implication. Well, in our case, you can also call it Atmanirbhar, or you can define whatever way, but it has to serve a purpose somewhere. Now I want to take you to another question. If you have a precious stone, how do you preserve it? How many of you have diamond rings? Gold rings, how do you preserve it? How do you preserve those things? How do you preserve those things? Okay. And now, if this is the precious stone, I threw it out to a few people. Who all have it? Who have it? Please raise your hand. What have you done with it in the last 35 minutes? I'll tell you what you did. You squeezed it, you passed it on to the next guy, you threw it across the board, you looked at it and you thought, no, there's a little plastic here, you took that plastic out, right? You're scratching your nail over here, you were doing all these things, right? Why? It's not precious, right? What if I tell you that this is the most precious stone you have? And there's only one of it? There's only one. Right? How many of you that I gave 5 of them noticed that there is no polarized cap on this one? That's a problem. If this were a precious stone that you inherited from your father and grandfather, and this is something that you have to give it to your children and grandchildren, how are you going to preserve it? What are you going to do with it? Okay? Let me put this thing in some perspective. If you think of it, we are all trapped. Where are we trapped? Where are we trapped? We are trapped on this. We are trapped on this stone. We have no choice. Yeah, we can dream about Mars. Elon Musk can make promises. NASA can have ideation. They can hire me to do that. But we are really trapped on this planet. This is the only place where we are stuck. If that's the case, how are we going to keep it? How are we going to preserve it in all our engineering efforts? There is no planet B. We must sustain this. And that's the responsible side of it. Okay? What do you think, sir? Okay. All right. Somebody mentioned that I'm a founder member of ISAMPE. Here is my certificate of being founder member of ISAMPE. This is dated 1988. 1988. ISAMPE was founded in 1985. How did I become a founding member? By association. I was A.K. Rao's PhD student and A.K. Rao is the founder of it. So I kind of inherited something that I've always felt that I never deserved it. Okay? Yes, I have a certificate saying I'm a founding member of ISAMPE and I get introduced to various places. We had an A.K. Rao Memorial Lecture in Bangalore and I was introduced as a founding member. But I've always felt guilty that I got this thing without having done anything for ISAMPE to be its founder. And I want to fix that today. Okay. How many ISAMPE members in the room? Fantastic. How many leaders of ISAMPE, who are in the management executive committee of ISAMPE? Thank you very much. I have a request for you. This is the definition of ISAMPE that I've picked from the website, and she used a part of this definition in her opening lecture. Once again, I'll read it because it's a definition. A body of professionals dedicated to promotion of professional and technical excellence in the field of materials and process technology in the country. It meant in this country, in India, at that time. But we are squeezing the juice out of this lemon. The way we use materials and the way we create garbage and the way we create carbon, we need to stop squeezing that lemon. So I urge ISAMPE to seriously consider revising this identity statement that we have put. And I want a very small revision. And I'm only requesting, I want you to consider it. I just want you to put the term eco-friendly in there. It is important today. Okay? And this is my fourth takeaway for you today. And with that, I rest my case. Thank you very much for tolerating me. I'm sorry for that. I had requested her earlier that please don't introduce me, because I'll tell you what happens when a speaker is introduced in the beginning. Whatever she said, I'll tell you, none of you remember that. You have no idea what she said about me. I'm telling you. She listed number of publications, number of awards, this, where I work. You don't remember all that. But I'll tell you one, if you like the message that I've given, you are going to look me up, and then you will know who I am, and then you will remember who I am. You want to introduce a speaker after they've delivered the lecture, not before they've delivered the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We would really like to sincerely apologize for the wireless pointer not working. Despite the technical hiccup, you handled the situation so well, sir. And message from the ISAMPE founder, one of the founder, about revisiting our ISAMPE identity is something really very thought-provoking, sir. Definitely, it's an honor to have you today, and it was really a mind-blowing speech and the address what you have given to the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. So I request you to please be on the stage for some time. We are just going to for the next event. I request you to stay for some time.
Can I take a picture
Sir,
of
now
you?
I request the dignitaries, DG sir, Director sir, to please honor the dais, along with the conveners and the ISAMPE Technical Committee Chairman, Convener of IIT Hyderabad, Ramguru sir, Sir Modi sir. We are going to do the honors of sovereign, it gives me immense pleasure to announce the release of our souvenir, a token of remembrance in the record of our shared journey. I request Sri Gangadhar Sinha and to please hand over the souvenirs. Sir, I request DG sir to please do the honors. Thank you, sir. I request you to please stay for some more time, sir. We are going to do the memento as a token of deep respect and appreciation and your presence with us at ICMS. We would like to honor our guest today with mementos. I request our Director Paparao sir to please present a memento to our esteemed chief guest, Director General Sri Raja Babu sir. I request Director to give memento to DG sir. I now request Director to please honor our guest of honor, DGHR, Dr. Mayank Dwivedi sir, with the memento. I request our DG sir to please honor our the keynote speaker, Dr. EP Singh sir, with the memento. I request our Director to please honor Ramguru sir, Director DIS COE Hyderabad, with the memento. I request Director to honor Chairman Technical Committee ICMS, Dr. Manoj Burgohain, with the memento. I request Director once again to honor Professor Suhas, convener IIT Hyderabad, with a memento. I request our Director to honor Dr. Srinivas, convener ISAMPE Hyderabad chapter, with a memento. May I now request our Chief Guest Rajababu sir to kindly do the honors of presenting a memento to our Director ASL, Shri D.V. Paparao sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, kindly please be seated, sir, for a few minutes. Now I request Shri Sundar Singh to deliver the vote of thanks, and followed by that, we'll be moving to another exciting part of the ICMS, the inauguration of the technical exhibition showcasing innovations, technologies and research from the leading institutions and industries. I request all the dignitaries, delegates, participants to please proceed after the vote of thanks towards the exhibition area and join us for the formal inauguration session. Following the exhibition visit, we warmly invite you, each one of us, everyone visited in our campus today for a sumptuous dinner. I request Shri Sundar Singh for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Normally, the vote of thanks is at the end of the event. So, mostly, vote of thanks is treated as no to thanks. But thanks is very, very essential. And in the beginning of any event, we thank God. And at the close of the event, we thank our co-human beings. Because we are a social being and we are dependent on each other. So God gives us, He is a sovereign, He gives us everything. He sends us with a mission into this world and He accomplishes that mission through you and me. Though our plans are different, but His plans He will accomplish. So we need to thank God whatever He brings into our life. And similarly, we have to thank our co-human beings because of what they have contributed. So I take this opportunity to thank our Chief Guest, Sri U. Rajababu, Director General, MSS, for encouraging us to hold this conference. He not only encouraged us for this mega event, but he has consented to be our Chief Guest. I also thank Professor B.S. Murthy, Director IIT Hyderabad, who is our guest of honor. And also I thank Dr. Mayank Dwivedi, Director General HR, for gracing the occasion. I also thank Organizing Chairman D.V. Paparao sir, who has been pioneer to arrange this conference, a mega event. And I also thank Dr. G. Ramguru sir, Director DIA COE Hyderabad, and also thank Dr. Manoj Kumar Buragahen, who is the chairman for the technical committee, and the number of meetings we held to make this event a successful one. Professor Suhas Ranjan De, I thank. He is the IIT convener for ICMS, and also thank convener Dr. K. Srinivas, who is convener for ISAMPE. I also thank the keynote address given by Dr. Ripi Singh for his wonderful address. I also thank directors of other labs, Dr. Jagannath Naik, Director Chess, and our ex-directors, ex-program directors, ex-project directors, and the project directors, technology directors, and program directors who are present here. I also thank the directors of other labs like RCI, DRDL, and ASL, and DMRL, DSP, DYSL, RCMA, ARCI. Also thank all the associate directors of different labs. I also thank IFA R&D, and I also thank the managing director BDL and from Midani. I also thank all the sponsors. I also thank the industry and all the exhibitors and all the delegates, all the keynote speakers, invited speakers, and all who are present here. I also thank the organizing committee members from ISMP, organizing committee members from IIT Hyderabad, and I thank each and everyone who have contributed for this mega event. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
He authored the book and he would like to give it to IIT Hyderabad. That's really an honor, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is about 30 years of experience in innovation management packaged in about 500 pages written in an encyclopedia style called Innovapedia. This is for the IIT Hyderabad library. I wanted to give it to the director. You can have access to that through your library.
Thank you, sir. Now I request each one of us to visit the inauguration session followed by dinner. We request every one of you to please go to the exhibition, then join us for the dinner. Thank you so much.